guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece Chapter 887, and no lie, right off the bat, this chapter got me in in a whirlwind of emotions between just sadness, as well as blood-boiling anger to a certain degree. It's not at the chapter itself, it's at what was in the chapter that got me blood-boiling, but let's talk about it. Okay, so... if there's anything I learned from this chapter, actually, I guess throughout the entirety of this arc, is that everything associated with Beige is a one-man wrecking crew. I mean, seriously, a ship that can transform into a tank is just too amazing to put into words. Other than Oda's creativity is near limitless. I mean but yeah. Now let's get into the heart of it. So, Pound got executed by Oven in this chapter, and it's sad, but there's a real element of tragedy almost in this chapter, which is that, understand, he died without either of his daughters knowing who he was. Who he was, yet he still performed the duties of a father and a grandfather by distracting Oven just long enough for Beige, Pez, Chiffon, and Sanji and the cake in general in order to get away. And also, Oven, what the frick are you doing? If you destroy that cake, then Big Mom will literally go on a fucking rampage. I'm just saying, but yeah, and honestly, this whole thing with Pound and whatnot, and him saving Chiffon and whatnot, Chiffon and Pez and whatnot, I can relate to that situation a little, as the whole thing of not knowing not knowing precisely who, the whole thing of not knowing who not knowing your parent, not knowing a parent thing, that whole situation, I can kind of relate to that situation of not knowing a parent because a little, because I lost my mom before I even really got to know her. The big difference there, though, is I lost my little note about me. I did lose my mom when I was very young, and I didn't really truly get to know her. Although the big difference there, though, is, I guess, I at least have stories from my family to go off of to remember her by. But here, Chiffon has no stories to tell her son, or very few, assuming that Nami tells Chiffon who Pound actually was. And just to put a fucking cherry on the top of this sundae, it feels that unspoken letter from Pound to his family. Just that was the final nail. I was like, I was a grieving. I was a mess at that shit. Like, holy frick. Especially his words to his grandson, like his words to Pez, and his words to Pez especially, that just got me like, wow. Like if they ever do a top 10, like I know that Pez, I know that Pound hasn't been the most interesting or fleshed out character at all, but honestly, if they do a top 10 anime fathers, I'm hoping Pound actually gets on there. Like, I want Pound to be on the top 10 anime fathers list or something. I know he'd be on my list of top 10 anime fathers for sure, but yeah, like, just the whole thing with Pound was like, wow. I mean, yeah. And also, I'm sorry, but that little mini flashback of seeing Pound getting separated from his children, like I said, there were two emotions I felt in this one: sadness and blood boiling anger. Now we're getting into the part where the blood boiling anger comes in. Because honestly, that little mini flashback of seeing Pound getting separated from his children really had me going and shout at the screen, "Fuck you, Big Mom!" Seriously, I know it's something we're all blatantly aware of about her, but seeing how she told Pound that he served his purpose and did away with him like that just really got my blood boiling and just showed that the depth of how she really views her family. Like, Big Mom, like, again, this is all shit we know, but just seeing it, full view, right there, just seeing just few words from Big Mom that showcase to me that Big Mom does not give a fuck. She doesn't give a fuck about her family. Like, her family is just, they're pawns, they're soldiers, they're basically people she can use at the drop of a hat. Like, she doesn't give a fuck about her family unless it actually freaking matters to her. Like, yeah, it's, it just showed the depths of how she really views, which she doesn't give a fuck. Like it only and she only shows any love or caring for them if it suits her needs. That's pretty much like again this they're like this chapter is like again I know this is all stuff we've seen before from Big Mom. It's nothing new. We have seen all this time and time again from Big Mom. It is nothing new we haven't seen before. But just seeing it is like yeah, Big Mom is just so twisted. It's not even funny. Like yeah. And okay, so aside from that, I got rant over. Uh, the end of this chapter shows two sides. One with Big Mom cornering the Straw Hats, and the other is putting in Sanji about to put the final touches on the cake to finally put an end to this big bitch's rampage. And I'm not gonna lie, if there was one issue I had with the chapter, it's that the pacing wasn't the greatest, but it's honestly a nitpick compared to what we got. I think I'm just growing impatient too that this whole cake subplot has honestly taken this long because like I definitely I can't fault Oda for being I can't fault Oda for being very for having a for, for definitely being very nitpicky with his story and just and very and just trying to cover all of his bases with his story, but at the same time it's like yeah, this cake thing is kind of taking a little load. Do you think there are times where I'm like, yeah, this cake thing is taking a little time out. I think it's speeded up, but yeah. So we're finally gonna see. We're finally gonna see. We're finally gonna see. We're finally gonna see the cake finish probably next chapter. Assuming they don't cut back to the Luffy and Katakuri fight. I guess. Actually, I guess that was another thing about this chapter is that I desperately missed the there was a. I wish they got a little bit more of the Katakuri and Luffy thing and what progress to that is going on. At least just a little tease of it or something. But yeah, and but yeah, it's like and again I get that Oda is very he does like to he tries to cover all his bases with his story of One Piece and I'm fine with that. But it's like yeah the cake it just took a little too long for me. But aside from that, like I said, Big Mom has basically cornered the the Strats are basically all the Strats that are pretty much on the Sunny, and honestly, like I'm honestly with her catching up, it's almost like I think considering what considering what I think it was Praline was doing, considering what Praline was doing, honestly, I think I think now is probably a good time in order to bring what exactly Praline has been planning into the story now because with Big Mom catching up, there's not a whole lot of options for the Strats right now. Like I know they're basically I know they're leading Big Mom to the cake now, but it won't really matter if she catches up with them and she freaking kills them. So yeah, I'm really hoping like that. I'm really hoping that the whatever Praline or whatever the Fishman pirates actually in general are planning with in terms of in are planning it comes into play soon because Big Mom is almost is ready to kill pretty much here and yeah it's and yeah but I do yeah but yeah and I do kind of wonder though like if although now that I think about it I do wonder if Oven's heat powers had really affected the planet all because she pretty much said that because because it was pretty much said that with Oven heating up the ocean it basically it had stopped the it had stopped the it had boiled all the fish so I wonder if that's true for this if that's true for the sea slugs as well, or whatever those things were that Praline was singing to. But yeah, whatever backup plan that the fishermen, pirates, and Praline are cooking up, I think that would be a good time in order to do it. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.